Like me?
Hello, I'm Mark.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
Who's the other
Moto.
one? Who's the Moto? There we go. Okay, we got us all. Welcome to the Tesla Life. Roll the title. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to talk a little bit about TeslaSemi. And of course, we've talked about Semi many times in the past, but it has been relegated to just one company. And that one company, of course, was PepsiCo, based out of Modesto, California. Well, today we've got news that Tesla has picked their second guinea pig, partner, that are going to help them look at what TeslaSemi can do in the real world. And this company is called Martin Brower. They're based in Stockton, California. So I'm seeing a trend, just California companies so far. And Martin Brower is a company that supplies logistics for restaurants and restaurant chains. So they're moving around the West Coast. We had seen that they were up in Patrick's neck of the woods as far as they travel, right?
Yeah, so I actually just did, I don't know anything about this company, so I did a quick Google Maps search, and they've got locations all over the U.S. and a few in Canada, too. Okay. So all the way to Florida and
Canada?
Near Ottawa, near Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're a real player, and a lot of them are labeled Martin Brower / McDonald's. So I don't know if they are a major shipping logistics company for McDonald's. That's what this implies. But like I said, I don't know anything about the company. So, yeah, they're big time. So if this deal works out well in their test market in California, it could go all over the U.S. and Canada.
Yeah. So this test is considerably smaller than what happened with PepsiCo. Apparently, Martin Brower is looking at they've got 2 units that have been assigned to them for testing. And I believe it's going to start, obviously, in their Stockton, California distribution center. And it'll go from there as to how successful the test will be. They're very excited about it. On their Twitter feed, they had announced that they were going to be part of this test. And they had thanked Tesla for allowing them to participate. And as you know, with deliveries that happen at McDonald's, for example, you'll notice that a lot of the times that the trailers that these trucks are pulling are typically smaller, about 26 feet or so, compared to the 48 or 53 foot of the full ones. And that typically is because they maneuver around parking lots and tight spaces like McDonald's, for example. Being able to pinpoint yourself around a McDonald's, go around the back, avoid all the parked cars. You know, you can't really have a 53-foot trailer following you. You're going to get tied up. So a lot of these places will be running the smaller trailer, which of course is going to save some weight too, because they're half the size. So they're not pulling full loads like you would see a 53-foot trailer do.
Not that you can fit all that goods in one restaurant anyway.
Right. Well, they're probably on a route, and they're doing multiple restaurants and multiple stops along a certain way, and dropping off, and maybe even picking up some returns and stuff as they're going along. And of course, some of them have those tailgate lifts to help them move those dollies in and out to grab a stack of product and roll them in and out of the trailer to get them from the trailer height down to the ground. So that adds a little bit of weight, nothing tremendous. But this will be another great test for TeslaSemi. Be able to see how it operates in these smaller parking lots, smaller areas. And I would hazard to guess that this is similar to Pepsi in some ways, is that it's great to have a vehicle that would be idling all the time in your parking lot that's not spewing out any pollution. because they don't shut them down typically. They let them run because sometimes refrigeration is required and they have to keep the motors running to keep the cooling going. And this will be another possible change for Tesla if they've got reefer units, which is short for refrigeration, if that type of thing is going to be required as well. Now, I will say that reefer units typically today are all gasoline or diesel, right? A separate little tank that's on the side of the reefer, and then you've got that big condenser that's mounted to the front of the van area, the trailer, and the fuel line runs into it, and it runs off of just a regular IC engine. That's where this can ultimately go, is that
we don't need the EPU.
Yeah, you could be getting a charge from the truck just to run the unit, but that's not part of this test. We're just speculating here out front as to what could be coming.
Yeah, if I want to take the speculation a little further, if you have a refrigeration unit that is now running off electricity, and you've got that nice big top of the trailer, that sounds like a great place for some solar panels.
Yep.
And if that just means that you can run the refrigeration unit without drawing off the traction pack, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say hook it up to both. Why not have the traction pack available to feed you some juice? Because you with a 500-mile vehicle, if you're just doing a route that's a couple 100 miles, then you could run it for days on just 100 miles of traction battery. But having that solar backup, that would be a big plus. That's very similar to my friend Ian, who has a pontoon boat.
Right.
He's got a Tesla power pack in that boat, and he thought, well, instead of just running the power pack, why don't I put some solar panels above the boat on the pontoon, typically where there's a roof anyways, and I'll just soak up the sun and put it back into the pack when the boat's sitting at the dock and I'm not even using it. And it's worked perfectly. He doesn't even have to plug the thing in because it's always charging every time the sun gets up.
That's incredible. Yeah, and I'm not suggesting that you could drive a semi off of solar.
No.
Don't get me wrong. It's just to supplement the refrigeration load. And the nice thing about that is, when do you need refrigeration most? When it's hot. Well, it's usually sunny. And look at that. They correlate perfectly.
That is a great match. Exactly. A match made in heaven for power consumption.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this will be interesting. The other part of the article, they talked a little bit about Martin Brower's thoughts on just having a couple of units. Like, this is not a huge test, just a couple, but they don't have a Tesla charging charger at their location in Stockton. The article says they're considering getting one, and I'm thinking, okay, if you don't have a charger, what are you going to be doing to charge the rig during the test? It doesn't say how long the test is, but I got to imagine it's a couple months at least. What are they going to be doing? So maybe the article got it wrong, and it's not that they're considering they're going to install it, but it's kind of weird. I thought for a test, Tesla might even have said, you know what, you have to have one of these chargers installed so you can plug the two trucks in at night. But this is kind of a weird little offshoot in this article.
Or maybe that's why they picked this location for their test. Maybe Tesla has something nearby that they were using for their own testing, and they're going to let these guys share it.
Yeah.
And that, I'm wondering now at this point, remember how they modified the CCS, or not CCS, the Type 2 connector for supercharging when supercharging first came out? There's nothing saying they couldn't have modified MCS to take an analog, take a AC charger instead of just DC.
Yeah.
Or do a really slow DC charge, like maybe
exactly. Maybe there is a Tesla supercharger across the street from them, for regular cars. What's stopping them from going over there, plugging in if Tesla allows them to? They know the serial number, they know the truck, and they could let it charge there for 8 hours overnight. And bing, they've got enough to do the route the next day and get back there for another charge.
It still needs the Octopus converter box. That would be
Maybe they've changed it at this point.
Yeah, it's a
Or
different
maybe they
connection.
supplied them with one.
Yeah, it's a different connection by now for sure. But they never wanted anybody to take a picture of that. So if they still need it, that would be a reason why not.
Yeah.
They made sure to tell us that the Cybertruck and the Semi use the same tech, even though they have different connectors.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this, I don't know about you guys, but this kind of surprised me that they picked a smaller carrier like this. The carrier, obviously they're a larger carrier. They're all over the US and Canada, but just to have 2 trucks on a particular route, I thought for sure they'd go with someone like Walmart or, Kroger or somebody else that has a huge fleet that they're using, but maybe they're testing for something else. It's not what they're testing for with Pepsi, which is basically from distribution center to warehouse. Maybe this is something a little bit different where it's with end customer or within traffic on city streets or right down to retail developments. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, this would definitely test out both your maneuvering and your camera fusion technology, because you got to maneuver that thing around all the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool. Again, TeslaSemi development just seems a bit slow from the outside to me, just looking at it. And again, I don't know anything about what's involved in this, how much actual changes are being proposed based on real world environments. They could be getting a lot of that valuable information. And of course, it does take time to implement that type of thing and modify equipment or software in order to get it matched up. But it is kind of slower on the outside. Like Pepsi was introduced over a year ago. They
October of 2022, I think.
Yep. They didn't get to trucks. They got the press conference basically to unveil the trucks, but we didn't really see any real action until the next year when they started to roll, and they got a few more vehicles, and now there's quite a bit of activity at Pepsi Modesto. But this one with 2 is kind of interesting. I wonder if Tesla's about to release maybe a couple more smaller guys, or if they are going to go back to someone larger. I guess time will tell, but speculation on the outside, it was kind of a weird choice for me when I think about it.
Yeah, but also the 2 trucks, that also does kind of signify that they're looking at something different here, because Pepsi did get at least 12.
Yeah,
way more than that, but at least 12 easily.
12 at the beginning. I think they're up to 24 or maybe 30.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this. My guess would be that this is their second partner, and they're going to do the same kind of ramp it up to a couple dozen trucks, and they're just starting slow to give them time to get. So it's not a supercharger. What type of charger is it, Casey? That
Mega.
Yeah, mega chargers. So yeah, that would give them. They can start doing some field testing now, get their drivers used to it, try it out a little bit, and then if they say, okay, yeah, this is working, then spend the money to get the mega chargers, and then ramp up to more vehicles.
They did have a report back from some of the drivers already that have taken out the 2 vehicles. They've rotated it a bit amongst drivers, and the drivers that had taken it out initially had indicated that it's extremely easy to drive. There's a lot less to worry about. The complete gear shifting is gone, right? Because this is an automatic transmission vehicle. You haven't got the split gears, and that just that's part of transport life. Is you're using the gears to basically brake the vehicle too, like slow it down. Shifting into a higher gear, the RPMs go up, and it drags. It's called the Jake brake, is how it's called.
It's loud sometimes.
And when it's loud, if you're coming off the highway, for sure. The higher the RPM, the louder it is.
Jake braking in city limits.
Exactly. So it's something that the drivers don't have to worry about at all. And with the electric drive, the steering is, of course, assisted like it is in all vehicles, but they find it easy to wheel around such a big vehicle. So,
and the visibility.
There's another thing with the cameras.
Cameras and center driving position.
Right.
And all that glass. Yeah.
Yeah, and all that glass.
Yeah. So double monitors with the mirrors on the inside as well as mirrors on the outside because it's required still.
Yes.
But it's a change for drivers, and so far the ones that have tried it out are reporting back they're enjoying the experience.
I'm thinking there's a good chance there's NACS on this thing.
It could be.
Because MCS2, Tesla would be the only one who's going to use it. Everybody else is using MCS3 when it comes out.
That might be a good reason why they limited it. Okay, they'll modify a couple to use NACS. They'll give them those, and then later they can go to the Mega Charger.
Wouldn't you think, guys, that it would make a lot of sense for Tesla to actually outfit it with both, so that you would have, because obviously the thought is to put in mega chargers at truck stops or certain routes, right?
I mean, if they put the truck to use NACS and they put the new mega chargers to use NACS, because remember when NACS came out, before Aptera and Ford got on board, they said that it could do megawatt, and they tested it to 900 kilowatts without any cooling on the vehicle side.
Yeah.
So there's no reason. Pepsi is using 750 kilowatts on their mega charger right now, so 900 is more than that. So
yeah, I would just think it would make sense to have the option of using a real supercharger. Now that they're allowing other operators like Rivian and Ford to use it anyways, it's like, put it in an accessible place that can access the charger port.
Just don't take 4 spaces.
And as time goes along, pull in with a trailer, take them all. 16 spaces used up. But,
that's why they have a different connector, just to prevent that.
I just think that it would make sense as mega chargers are not being built yet openly, that they're just at distribution centers. But over time that will happen. But in the meantime, just give them the ability to go across the street, plug it in for 8 hours. And if they're being abused, Tesla will know because they're collecting the data anyways, right? They know how long the vehicle was there, how many stalls it's sitting in with cameras and things of that nature. So I just think it's something.
They still shouldn't need 8 hours, because if you plug it in to an unused cabinet, then assuming that the cable can handle it, then they could give you all of the V3 cabinet, and it would be a mega charger right there as far as output.
Yeah. So
they have software in there to do that.
Yeah, the software's ready. Yeah, that's the other part.
At least it's exciting news that they've moved on to another company, and hopefully we will see the third shortly. So
progress.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. It's progress, and we hope to see more of it soon. With that, I think we'll wrap it. And Casey, what do you got happening on Sundays? Let the people know.
Yeah. So catch us on Sunday at youtube.com at Casey Green, and we'll talk about, of course, Tesla. We'll talk about a lot of other stuff that's going on. We got some. We like to do these recalls and bulletins. I've got some bulletins and recalls, both for Tesla and Ford so far. But I'm sure somebody else will crop up by Friday afternoon, right as the closing bell, because that's the best time to announce that news.
Very
and
good.
then again on Monday right here for the Tesla Life Express.
Exactly. Anything to mention, Patrick?
Sure. I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net. Check it out. Thanks.
Perfect. We'll catch you next time on the Tesla Life.
Didn't hit the right button.